Good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday, November the 6th, 2018, also known as Election Day, so be sure to get out there and vote. We'll be seeing temperatures this morning getting up to the mid to low 60s today. We have the potential of seeing a few strong to severe storms that morning as strong and powerful cold fronts coming through. We'll be seeing that pretty much dominating our area, and we'll be exiting by 1 o'clock today. And that'll be good news. We get some sunshine, but it'll get breezier for sure. At overnight low of 42. Last night, parts of the Mid-South in Mississippi, there were several tornado touchdowns, believe it or not, because this is such a dynamic storm system, going from extremely hot, or warm, I should say, to just extremely cooler temperatures out there as well. So, kind of let you know, folks, these fronts that come through can be friendly at times, others they cannot. So anyway, already joining me this morning is a very familiar voice we had a couple of weeks ago, talked about a couple of comic series, and we're going to continue that theme this morning. So first of all, good morning and welcome back again.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Alrighty, so we talked a little bit before we came on the air. You were did some comic series. You want to just give a brief introduction of what you've done before in the past?
Actually, the Cloaked series is actually the first comic we've put out. I was a short story and novelist writer in the past, and that's what I primarily did before I started coming to the school and met up with some other artists.
Alrighty, and so now you were telling me before you came on the air, you go to these Comic-Con events. So first of all, what is Comic-Con, like myself? If you don't know what that is.
Comic-Con, there is a... Comic-Con isn't a blanket term that you would think of it. There's quite a few that will use that title in their names, like the NRCC Comic-Con. We have Comic-Con Week here at Radford University. And what it really is to kind of invoke that sense of the San Diego Comic-Con. That's the big one that, there's several thousands of people there all the time, and it takes place every year. There is actually not a study abroad, but a program that goes there every year to and you get backstage and everything with that. So that's actually something I found out this year.
Alright, cool. And sounds awesome right there. Now you've been to some of these several Comic-Con events. Where have you been that they've been at, and what can you take away from it?
Oh, let's see here. I've been to the one in the Blacksburg University Mall. It's a relatively smaller one. I've went to one called Con that was put together by a lot of more local artists and creators and vendors. I've been to the NRCC Comic-Con a couple of times. I've been to one in Roanoke at the Tanglewood Mall. So quite a few more in the immediate area than anything else.
Alrighty, awesome. And alongside of going to Comic-Con, you also did a little bit of freelance writing. First of all, what is freelance writing, and how did you get a little bit inspired with that?
Okay, freelance writing is basically you... for newspapers, magazines, websites, especially nowadays, when you think of yourself as a writer or a journalist or anything like that, you will work for generally one of these companies that runs this section. So if you want to be a journalist in this immediate area, you'd work for the Roanoke Times. Well, as a freelance writer, one of the big things you do is you actually kind of catch up those companies or give them kind of a backlog of product, basically. These are stories that you write. The perk of being a freelance writer really is the fact that you are not limited to one specific source, basically. You don't have to write for the Roanoke Times. You just send them stuff when they need it, or when they request it from you if you've built that rapport. A big thing right now, especially for our generation coming up, is going to be for websites, for blogs, for the video logs on YouTube, everything like that. That's going to be your big market for freelance writing. And
you also, like I said, do some of this on the side as well. Would this be something you want to continue along with writing your little novelties that you continue to do?
Most definitely. I think it's important to continue with articles, not even so much journalism, but to focus yourself working as a freelance writer, at least for a short period of time. There's a very specific skill set you get when you write like that, and that is the ability to hook your reader at the very beginning of your section, as well as if you do short story series I do, being able to hook them at the end of it. And that's a really good skill, especially for novelists, to keep your reader engaged as they go through. You'll see it really mostly in young young adult novels, which is why those kind of take off so well, because you are constantly being engaged.
Right.
And when you do freelance writing or small-time writing for magazines and websites and stuff, you really build that because it allows you to narrow your focus down onto that small section.
Alrighty, cool stuff there. Now, like you said, you're working on this cloak series. Now, have you, and you have another friend of yours that helps work with this, but unfortunately he's not here this morning. Are there any more series that you all have been working on or in the process of trying to get together again?
There are a couple of things in the works. Our big focus right now is Cloaked. It's unfortunately been a little bit backlogged simply due to the fact that both of us are students, both of us have 5 classes each. At him as the artist, he's very art intensive for a lot of his classes, so those projects always take a long time. And then myself working on video and other writing projects as well as the classes does take up a lot of our time. So unfortunately, if you have been reading Cloaked, there will be a small delay. Hopefully this week we will get it number of more pages out for you, as well as there may be some news concerning it later on this week.
All right, you heard it here, folks. They're going to be working on getting that series out. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. Alrighty, switching gears now. I started something new last week. This week, I should say, reading these inspirational quotes, because, some people, you kind of get down, you need something inspiration. So today's quote of the day is actually from author Philly, and he says, F8 and be there. He is actually a photographer. With that being said, so obviously with the f-stops on the camera, you kind of will get that glance of say an f-stop 16, 4, 2 or whatever. And so anyway, I'm not real too sure about that one. But anyway, and also today, not only is it Tuesday, but it's election day, and your voice and your vote matters. Tell the people why they need to go out and go vote today.
Honestly, it's just like you said, your voice does really matter for this. There's a lot of issues coming up that certain things need to get repealed, certain things need to be put back in place, and who you vote for does really kind of matter to that. Getting out there and going to vote today. So be sure you know where your voting center is, or the nearest one. I'm sure everyone is registered. We ran into the guys who are making sure that for the past month.
Yes, we have.
So they were very proactive on it. So I think we're in good hands on that.
All right.
It's just going to be getting out there and making sure you know your candidates.
Right, and don't let the weather stop you. That rain's going to be out of here by the afternoon, so get out there. Hit the polls too. Alrighty, moving on to some national days. Last time we were on here, you were asking me about food, and today's another food day too, but not only it's election day. You were asking about blueberry muffin. There's actually a day, July 16th, matter of fact. So, but unfortunately, we've got a long ways to get to that. So, anyway, today's national day is actually National Nachos Day, but they're not yours, but they're mine, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I could get a whole nice feast of some chips and some sauce. Are you a big nacho pipe guy?
Oh, definitely. Honestly, if there's so many restaurants and Mexican restaurants around here, although I will say McAdoo's has a pretty good nacho plate. In and of itself. All
right, and maybe head over to McAdoo's. They might be a little special today. I'm not too sure about all that, but it seems like every time or every day we're talking about food, no matter what time of day it is, and so that's a good thing about that too. Alrighty, so coming up later in the month, ashore, do you go to any of the R Space events, or have you been to any of those events before they put on?
I actually don't know what you mean.
R Space, actually, they, matter of fact, they are located in the Bonnie, and what they do, they put on these movies pretty much every single weekend since we've been here in school, and I kid you not, they do an awesome job with that. They are the people that kind of keep everything in the go. Unfortunately, this is not what I was looking for, but they pretty much keep the campus upbeat and going, and so they put on these events all semester long, and starting today actually, tonight it'll be a Radford percussion ensemble concert that is free in the Covington Performance Hall. And are you what type of musician person? Were you in that growing up? Or
I was actually not. I was a theater guy. That was my extracurricular in high school.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I was a percussionist for a little while, actually, through elementary school to about the early 9th grade or so. And boy, it's the hands get worn out. You get a little extra adrenaline with that too. And also going on to next week is the student printmaking show. So something that might be up your alley. That is a free event, and that is going to be located at the Porterfield Gallery at 205. So that starts today and goes into next week. And a lot of good things here at Radford University going on for sure. And obviously, you see here my almanac's in front of me. Keep a close eye on that. Do you ever read the almanac, or do you care for reading them?
I see it on the shelf all the time. I'll be honest, I've never picked it up.
Yeah, they've got some good, interesting facts in here. Every day, there's always something going on here. And so this coming Sunday is the Veterans Day, so we want to thank our veterans for everything they did too. We'll be doing maybe a little piece on that. Hopefully, have somebody come on to talk about that a little bit more. And also,
I was in the military, right?
Oh, well, we thank you. Thank you for your service. No, I did not know that. Thank you for your service. I will say that.
Worst case scenario, you guys will get to hear my lovely voice again.
Yeah, that's right. We will appreciate him. Tell Daniel when you see him around, thank him for his service, no matter what the situation is. So, thank you for that, and thank you for informing me. That's a good thing to have about that.
Got your interviews covered, brother.
All right. And also, in a couple of weeks, it's Thanksgiving. I'm telling you, we have just been flying by here with the food. Big feast. I can see it already ready to put in my head. Turkey, stuffing, macaroni. You got all the desserts are laid out for you. It's all just...
Get your holiday sweatpants back.
Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, they always say, oh, you gained an extra few pounds now. What pounds are you talking about? But anyway, and then after that is Christmas. And along with Christmas, there's so many other holidays. Hanukkah, and then there's the... Kwanzaa, thank you. Running along with those. And so anyway, that's coming up, and a lot of fun things happening here at Radford University. We're glad to have you back here with you this morning. We hope to hear back with you later with both of you.
Most definitely, man. I always enjoy coming on.
Well, we're glad to be here with us this morning. Alrighty, folks, if you just got so interested about this, you can actually find some articles in WIM, correct? Mm-hmm. They can find them in the WIM, and a lot of his articles have been posted in there, and with some great...
I'll actually have a new one coming out hopefully here soon in either WIM or the Tartan, depending on which one of them wants to fight to the death over it, concerning 3D animation. If you missed the Adscape event, a lot of the information I got on 3D animation I got from the Adscape event that was put together by the communications department. So that'll be definitely something to look forward to if you're interested in animation at all. Nice,
for sure, indeed. I'm just a little interested in animation. You've got me hooked on a couple of things this morning. Alrighty, folks, be sure to head over to Radio Free Radford on .com and Facebook. Like us, Twitter, hashtag us, follow us. You know the routine. And head over to RU Weather 1 for all the latest weather and news happenings around Radford University. We'll have a lot more guests coming up with According to Bose coming up here in about 45 minutes or so. And later on today, we'll have Allison Shiner and Jesse Taylor with their collaboration show from 1 to 1:30, and Carl's Miles will be here from 3:30 to 4. In the meantime, continue listening to great hits on RadioFreeRadford.com.